Welcome back, guys, to another episode of our CFL Power Rankings. We're down to week 6, going into week 6 now. Not much movement, but a couple spots have changed. Another exciting week of CFL football as well. And we'll preview the upcoming week. So stay tuned. We'll see you in there. All right, welcome back, guys. Just a friendly reminder, if you haven't remembered to subscribe, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button if you like our CFL content. We'll be coming at you every week, all the way up until the Grey Cup. So what is that, end of November, beginning of December?
No, it's always in November.
End of November. So CFL action, even going into the NFL action, we will keep up with our CFL content. So smash that subscribe button if you want to see more. All right, so here we are again, week 6. Looking back on week 5, we had a pretty good week. I mean, I had a pretty good week.
You did. You
had a pretty good week. I had a 4-0 week.
Well,
actually,
and you know, I'll say I was actually happy for him because this thing was turning into a blowout. I like to have a close race.
It's like the Rough Riders really pulled it out. I was worried the Alouettes were going to ruin my perfect week. When I was watching that game and I saw stamps go up, I was like,
well, we have some highlights about that too.
So we'll get into that. All right, so let's just look back. Thursday Night Football, we had Argonauts visiting the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Saskatchewan's been at home for quite some time. They were starting their backup quarterback, Shea Patterson. Yeah. Oh, and they had Cameron Dukes or Cameron Diaz or whatever they. Daisy Dukes. Daisy Dukes. Yeah. So Shea Patterson, his first career CFL start. He looked good, man. He was rushing TD in the end zone. He looked pretty good for them. But you know who stood out to me in that game, and it wasn't a Rough Rider.
There you go.
And I don't know, you're gonna have probably a highlight for this one, but Janarian Grant.
Right off the early stages of the game, receives a punt, could go all the way, and he did.
First CFL punt of the return for the season, and it felt like every time he got the ball, you thought he was going to break free. With those dreads hanging behind him, it's like he was flying. He was flying down the field.
He's something else.
So he had plenty of great returns in that game, but the rest of the Toronto offense just couldn't really get anything going.
Yeah, and for the whole game, it was basically back and forth. What killed the Argos was the 5 turnovers, and with the upcoming highlights, you'll see it was tied up 20-all, and the Argos got the ball and they were trying to march down, picked off, pick six. Yeah, and we're thinking, okay, there's still about 5 minutes left. There's still plenty of time in the CFL. They get the ball back, and what does Dukes do again? This time it wasn't a pick 6, but
it looked like it could have been. But Dukes actually made the tackle on that one too.
And that was at that point that was the game.
Yeah. So 4 picks for Dukes, including the pick 6. 5 total turnovers in that game. 10 turnovers for the Rough Riders in the last 2 games.
Yeah. That's how you win games.
Yeah. Their ability to create turnovers is kind of defining their season so far. And that's one of the big reasons that they are starting 4-0 for the first time in over a decade. So, Rough Riders, Don tried to pull a fast one last week at the end of the video, made me almost switch my pick, got me all nervous. But you know what? I stayed true to my team, my third favorite team. I stayed true to them, and I had belief in Shea Patterson.
Okay, wait one second. So, this is a guy who stays true to his team, but didn't pick Hamilton last week. Screw you!
I have belief in Shea Patterson, and it was a good game. We actually got to watch that pretty much that whole game. So
we did. Okay, so next we had Ottawa and the Bombers.
Yeah, in Winnipeg, Princess Auto Field.
I don't even want to start with that.
Winnipeg also starting their backup quarterback after Claros got hurt last week.
But it didn't take long for Ottawa to have to put in their backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Because that this head hit, like his helmet comes off, right? Done. So
Yeah, second quarter, big hit, and he was down for a while.
And then I think what was a key turning point in the game was in the second quarter when Ottawa was marching down the field and the guy threw a pass which was called a lateral pass.
Yeah.
And he dropped the ball, so it was called a fumble.
Yeah.
But if you watch this video carefully, maybe watch it over a couple times, you'll see he was a couple inches ahead when he got the ball.
This was the wrong call.
It should have been
an incomplete pass. Yeah, so I was watching that and I was like, damn, that looked like...
I got the video here.
Yeah.
So it happens fast. It was a very short clip, but if you have to just go back and watch it a couple times, you'll see.
Yeah.
In fact, I even have an image, but it's not really that good. But I will also throw that up too.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Winnipeg, they really relied on their run game this game. 37 rushing plays to 21 passing plays for the Bombers. So not only were they able to ground and pound, kind of like, push the ball up the field, they controlled the clock for most of the game. So Ottawa had a hard time trying to come back, especially with that back quarterback. So
yeah, and this was a hard-hitting game for the quarterbacks because there was a time in the third quarter that the Bombers quarterback, he got hit helmet to helmet.
Yeah.
Now, there was no flag. The Bomber players are screaming for, a flag. No flag.
Oh, was that when on the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they hit him late. Yeah.
But the one thing that they do in the CFL that they do not do in the NFL, if they think there was a penalty and it wasn't called, they go right up to control, and control takes it over.
Yeah.
So they looked at it and they said, nah, that's a spearing penalty.
Late hit,
15 yards.
Yeah.
So that I like, but I mean, these quarterbacks, they were getting creamed. But man, that Bombers quarterback is just running the ball all game.
And blocking too.
Yeah.
Blocking, passing, running. He looked good.
Yeah, and then as we were getting close to the end of the game, Ottawa still having a chance, coming down the field. Beautiful interception by the Bombers. Just fantastic. And that basically salted away the game.
Yeah. So, Winnipeg's first win of the season. So that puts them at 1-4 on the 1-3 or 1-4? 1-4. Yeah, they're 1-4. Yeah, 1-4 on the season. And they are heading to... Bombers will stay at home and they'll be playing the Stamps next week. So Stamps had a good showing, which will lead us into our next game, Saturday Night Football. We had the Montreal Alouettes at home hosting the Stampeders. And that game looked like it might get out of hand. And it did get out of hand. They were up by... Calgary was up.
They were up at halftime.
23-12.
23-12.
The largest lead was 26, though. They were up by 14 points in the third quarter. So
yeah, and... basically, in the second half, it was all Alouettes. They came down and they scored this beautiful passing touchdown, which actually got them close. Then this guy ran the ball. He scored. That was all. It was just a pure power run too.
Yeah.
And then at that point, they were slightly ahead. So then, this is the interesting thing, and I have a question for you. They go for the 2-point convert, and the Calgary guy intercepts it, and he's rumbling, stumbling, fumbling. He gets to the Ottawa 30, right?
Montreal 30.
Yeah, that's right. If he would have scored, how many points do you think he would have got on that?
It wouldn't be 7. Is it 2 or 1?
2.
Yeah. Okay. There was another game.
Yeah.
There where they had it was a missed. Didn't he return it all the way, or was that maybe?
He got something.
Maybe it was the Hamilton.
I have that right here if you want to see it.
It was the Hamilton game, and I don't remember if it was a kick, but the guy caught it, returned it, and I was like, oh, okay. And then the next time I looked, they were only up by 2, or the points only went up by 2. I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, and then now I don't know why, but then they brought the ball back to the Calgary 40 as opposed to the Montreal 30. There must have been a penalty.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what happened there. But then Calgary, they got picked off, and 25 seconds left. That was the game.
Yeah, that was the dagger interception that finished the game.
Did you know? Interesting thing. In the CFL, if you go for a 2-point convert, you start at the 3-yard line.
Okay.
If there's a penalty call on the offense, you don't get to change and say, okay, well, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to go for a single point now. You still have to go for the
You have to go for it, but you're 10 yards back.
You have to go for it because that was your initial decision.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're not changing.
Yeah, in the CFL or in the NFL, you can just go, you can be like, all right, we're for the back.
NFL, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Get the kick. So, Fajardo with an interception this game as well, and a fumble by Philpott. So they're two big players with turnovers. Kind of started that Calgary scoring streak.
Was
he was unbelievable in the second half. Like, he was catching every single thing. And yeah, like Fletcher was the one with that crazy run that gave them 31-yard run that allowed them to take the lead. Interesting. Montreal had only trailed for 5 minutes in the first 240 of the first 4 games.
Yep.
And then they were down for most of this. They went up 7-0, but then Calgary just dominated the rest of the first half and a little bit of the third. So big comeback for Montreal brings them to 5-0 on the season.
Killer.
And still look like the best cream of the crop in the CFL right now.
Yeah,
from top to bottom. I mean, they had a little bit of scare this game, but I don't think they were stressed at halftime. I think they were like, all right, let's just play our game and keep going, and that's what happened. So,
yeah,
big comeback from Montreal. Probably game of the week with this one, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it,
just with the back and forth scoring. That was just because it was the back and forth scoring.
Yeah, and the comeback. Yeah, so I'd say Calgary-Montreal game.
Well, it sure wasn't BC Hamilton.
Which leads us to our Sunday Night Football. BC Lions were at the Hamilton Ticats home field, Tim Hortons field.
The Donut Box.
The Hammer. And yeah, Hamilton just looked outmatched in this from the start. The score, I think, is closer, and I think I saw some of the BC players were a little bit frustrated and pissed off that they allowed Hamilton to score that last touchdown instead of making it was 44-28 instead of 44-21. But I mean, it was never a close game.
No, and it was just for their first touchdown. I can't believe how wide open the BC guy was. Excuse me, just totally wide open.
That was McInnes, I think. Yeah, he had 2 big first half touchdowns. Yeah.
He and Philpott right now, who are Canadians, are leading the CFL in receiving.
They are, yeah.
And that hasn't happened in like 20 years.
Having 2 Canadians lead this?
Having a Canadian.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
And then second touchdown, 2 wide open. Third one was just beautiful catch by McInnes.
Yeah.
It was actually he was actually being held, and he had to spin around and grab it by his knees. That was a nice one. And then just to show that, I'm not totally against Hamilton, I'll throw in Hamilton's last touchdown, which was actually a nice touchdown, just to say, at least they showed up kind of.
Yeah, Levi had a fumble, but he recovered it at one point in the game.
I told you that Levi guy, he is a bum.
No, yeah, and I know what?
He is a bum.
It's Hamilton. I mean, we talked to...
They should have kept Dane Evans.
Hamilton?
Yep.
Yeah, well, they're going to regret that decision. We talked endlessly last week about the Elks and how we ranked them, and they were an 0-4 team, but they don't look like an 0-4 team. Hamilton looks like an 0-5 team. They can't keep a lead. They can't get a lead. They can't. They're just not. They're not firing on all cylinders at this point, and it's just. Yeah, Levi Mitchell with that big contract's looking worse and worse every single week. So
and I would have to say that talking about Hamilton reminds me of something that you said just a few weeks ago. Something along the lines of, I'm going to give them 2 weeks, and by week 5, and I think it was mark my words, Hamilton is going to come back. You can watch that here.
You've heard it here first. Hamilton will move up the rankings. Stay tuned for Week 4 power rankings. You'll see them move up after a big win. Actually, no, I just picked them to lose.
Yeah.
Week 5, they'll make their comeback. You don't even know what the hell
you're talking about.
Week 5, they're going to make their comeback.
So, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, I had high hopes for my Hammer. I had high hopes for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, but I mean, I got to eat my words at this point and move on and see what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. But you know what?
I just don't know where you got the confidence that they would come back within 5 weeks.
I just have
shitty as they were playing, with showing no progress at all. In fact, in their last couple of games, declining. But you know what? You can't always be right? You know?
Can't always be right, but we'll see what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Who do they play next week? Or they're off next week, so they get a little bit of a break.
They're probably still going to lose.
All right, let's move on to next week here, guys.
Okay, first of all,
what? You have to say, first of all.
First of all, I'm going to have a better week this week because you know what? I have told myself I had a good run. I won 4 straight weeks. And then I lost. And that just doesn't work for me. So now it's be better, do better.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
From the wise words of the Redwood, be better and do better.
That's right.
And
thanks, Bill.
Thursday night football here. Toronto Argonauts coming back after a bye week. Or no, not after a bye week. Toronto Argonauts.
Well, it was practically a bye week with 5 five turnovers.
They'll be playing the number 1 Alouettes in a rematch of the last. They played 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah. And Alouettes won that one. So this won't be as good of a game as I think we would have thought if we were predicting this 3 weeks ago. But I think I mean, you got to go Alouettes on this one for sure.
Well, yeah, I will also go Alouettes, but I disagree with you about not being as good of a game because I think they're going to start Arbuckle, who was, I think he's.
Did he get into the game at all last week? Yeah, at the end.
After Dukes threw the 4th interception and back-to-back picks, he pulled his ass out of there. So he played the last 5 of the game. I think he's going to be the starter So let's see what he can do.
All right, so we got Alouettes coming in. They'll be playing in Montreal, McGill Stadium, so we'll see what happens there. Stampeders at the Bombers. So this will be the second home game in a row for the Blue Bombers. And this will be... Oh, no, not this week. 2 weeks. So we're going to this game. Okay, so... yeah, Blue Bombers got their first win of the week last week. I mean, they still don't look too convincing. And the Stampeders put up a really good fight against the Alouettes.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Last week. So
same thing.
Who are you going on this one?
I'm going Bombers.
You're going Blue Bombers?
Yeah.
Oh, I am so torn on this one. But I think the Bombers are going to roll. And they're going to keep that momentum. And they'll win out. They'll squeak out their second win of the week. And they'll start getting on the win streak here. All right, Rough Riders at the Lions. Now, this, I think, is going to be game of the week for me. Saskatchewan's red hot. They're 5-0. Lions are looking great as well. They look dominant. I mean, they were playing Hamilton, but they still look dominant in that game. And like I said at the beginning of the season, I have a lot of hope for the BC Lions, but tough one. So who do you got on this one? Or is he picking first?
You're picking first. No, that's not how you're going to screw me to. No.
All right, I'm going to go with my Rough Riders. I liked Shea Patterson last week. They're playing in BC Place. It'll be a packed house, but I'm going to go with my Rough Riders.
Okay, well, I already knew before this pick who I was going with. I'm going BC Lions.
There's our first split of the week. Don's got Lions. I've got Rough Riders. And that's Saturday. I'm off Thursday, Friday next week.
Come on.
Watch these games. Won't be able to catch that one, but it should be a pretty exciting game. And then final week, we got the Elks coming back this week to face the Red Blacks in Edmonton. I think Elks get their first win of the week, first win of the year. They've had a week to kind of think about their first 4 weeks and come up with a game plan to figure out how they can squeak out those wins because they were so close. So I'm going Elks in this one.
Well, you're going to pick first again, eh? I was also going to go with the Elks. They're not an 0-4 team, and Ottawa could definitely be a 0-4 or 0-5 team.
There we go. There we have it, guys. One split of the week will be our Saturday Night Football game, Rough Riders and Lions. So should be a good one. I have a chance to come back with another perfect 4-0 week and come a little bit closer to catching Dawn.
I also have a chance to go 4-0.
No, you don't. So
don't forget that.
There we have it, guys. We'll see you for that. We'll recap that next week. Moving on to our power rankings here, guys. This is the first week where I think we have the same exact rankings as you'll see. We both got Alouettes up at top. Don moved his Argos down. You moved the Argos down quite a bit of spots, too. Oh, no, just 2 spots. So you moved the Argos down 2. You brought the Rough Riders up and the Lions up. I just moved the Argos 1. Lions are looking good, so I moved them up second. That's why I'm saying 2-3 matchup next week should be an exciting one. Stamps kind of stay the same. They're probably the most average team in the league, I'd say. I don't really see much good or bad. They're just kind of coasting. Bombers moved up a couple spots with their first win of the season. Elks were off last week, so no movement.
Oh, and I put the Elks down. I had them ahead of the Bombers, so I flopped them.
Okay, so I had the Elks. Oh, I must move the Elks down too. I moved the Elks down too. So the Elks moved down. You moved the Elks down quite a bit. I don't know why. I don't know, that's week 4. I don't know why you had the Elks so high up. I don't know what you're thinking there, but so you had the Elks move down. Red Blacks, Tiger Cats, bottom of the barrel. They're probably the 2 worst teams in the league, and I don't have much hope for either of them.
How the worm has turned.
Still love the Tie Cats, but until they make some changes, I don't see much going on. This is just an indication
of how loyal this guy is to the teams he picks. Right? It's like Hamilton all the way.
I mean,
they're going to bounce back. Oh, you know what? Just give them time. They've had enough time, and they just get worse every week.
I have to be objective with my power rankings, and as much as I do enjoy the team as a whole, I have to admit and put my feelings aside and say, you know what? They are unfortunately the worst team in the league. So.
I'm thinking, thankfully, they're off this week, so we don't have to have the painful experience of watching them play again. But if they lose in week 7?
Week 7, yeah.
I think we should just remove them from the board completely.
Don't get too dramatic here, but we have moved on to our second page. So we are 6 weeks in. That can't believe we're already freaking 6 weeks into the season. But there you have it, guys. Week 6 power rankings. Stay tuned next week to see who's going to be moving up, down, all around. And yeah, in 2 weeks, we'll be going to our first CFL game. We'll have seen the Bombers at the Argonauts in week 8. So we'll have a special episode for that week as well. Maybe we'll even do a live cast at the game. Anything else to add for this week?
No, I got nothing else to say.
All right, so that's it for this week, guys. Make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends if you like CFL, if they like CFL. Check out these videos.
Oh, something else.
What's that?
I want to bring up something.
What?
So we did get a comment from.
Oh yeah, on our last video, yeah.
From a guy, and I'm assuming it's a guy. I'm not sexist. And he or she said, I'm going to say he, I'm pretty sure it was a guy, who said that he's happy that we're doing CFL football.
Shout out to the comment, thank you very much.
But we need to brush up on the rules. So I commented back to him and said, okay, well, we do appreciate constructive criticism, and Thank you for the comment. What specific rules are you talking about? And still waiting for a reply, which I don't think I'm going to get. So the thing is, you know what? I'm all down for people leaving comments. We go over them. We do reply to them. But if you're going to make like a broad statement like that, and then we come back and ask something or ask for the specific details, if you can't bother to answer back, then don't bother to make the comment in the first place.
Yeah, people are always gonna have their opinion, and you know it does help us to it did help us to improve, right? Because we did kind of take a look back and see what we needed to brush up on, and I think we said at the beginning too, we don't claim to be experts. We're definitely not. I'm definitely not a CFL expert. I watch mostly NFL football, so some of the rules still are it takes a little bit getting used to it. It takes the eyes a little bit to adjust to the difference in the game, but
and so even though this individual didn't respond, I'm assuming it was for the dribble kick, right?
Yeah, because I was like, what the hell is a dribble kick?
I gave a vague description of it, right? But if you want an actual, it says on the play, a receiver is throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage on second and long and kicks it just inches over the line. I said it was a yard.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, over the line before recovering it onside for a first down.
So he just has to kick it over the line of scrimmage, not the first down line.
Just has to kick it over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I said a yard. It was inches. Whatever. This point will probably be insignificant anyways, because in November, all the GMs are getting together talking about rule changes, and this is on the agenda.
Oh, really?
Because not only did the Alouettes use that against the Argos, and this is a really difficult play to defend against, almost impossible.
Yeah.
They did it twice in the Grey Cup against the Bombers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a sneaky way to reset the downs, especially if you're second and long, like you said.
Yeah.
2 and second and 20 or 15 or whatever. So yeah, interesting to see what they do in November then with the rule change.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll keep learning, we'll keep getting better, and anything else you guys have any questions about or think or want us to talk about or want us to clarify, let us know in the comments. We're always happy for the comments, because you know what, that means engagement for us. It's great.
We always respond.
And we'll always respond. So yeah,
always respond to every comment we get. So feel free, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, turn those notifications on, all that fun stuff. We'll be back at you next week with Week 7, Week 6 recap, and our Week 7 power rankings. You can catch our 10th episode of our weekly series in one of these 2 videos, and we'll have an Olympics preview coming at you in next week or 2 as well. So stay tuned. See you guys next time.
Later.